today I'm doing a dog bone sign for my dog's doghouse. I just built him a brand new doghouse, and I figured he had to have a name sign for it. So my dog's name is Prince, and it's going to be a wood bone shape. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do outset letters. I'm going to do a background, and then I'm going to cut out the dog bone shape to make a sign. So I've got my Dewalt 611 router with a profile bit. I've got it set at 3/16 of an inch. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and we'll start doing the outset letters. Okay, my hands are freezing. It's 30 degrees out here, I think. It's really cold outside. My hands are numb, but I think I did pretty good with that. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to draw a little cloud around it. I'm not going to make my cloud very big on this because I don't have a lot of room around the edges. So I'm just going to make a, I'll bring that out a little bit over here. Go pretty much straight, and I'll bring it out a little bit right here, something like that. So I'm going to do a cloud with that and do my background inside the cloud, so I'll get started on that. Okay, so I have my 60-degree V-groove bit, so I'm going to go ahead and make my outline of my cloud, and then we'll come back and do the texture work. Okay, so that came out pretty cool. As I always do, right now I need to do some modifications to my router and move my camera setup. But for right now, it's what I have to do. My camera's kind of in my way. So I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll cut the dog bone shape out. Okay, so I'm ready to cut the dog bone shape out now. I've got my 2 flute upcut router bit, And then I've got this thing set just below the bottom of this board, and I've got a cutout board here so I can cut down into that if I need to. And I've got this thing adhered down with some tape, so I got a little bit of space. So this depth here to the bottom of my cutout board should be plenty enough to get through this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting this thing out. Okay, so I got it cut out. So these pieces should just fall right off. Yeah, I did okay. I'm gonna have some sanding to do on it. But and obviously there's a better way to do this with templates and stuff, but I don't have a template made. But for right now, I think that's pretty dang cool. So I'm going to do some sanding on it, and then we'll get it all ready to and do some paint, put a finish on it. So I'll just do some sanding around the edges and square up all these sides and round everything off real good. I'll do that off camera, and we'll bring it back. We'll be ready to start painting and finishing it. Okay, so I've got this thing all sanded down and ready to go. So I'm ready to put some sanding sealer on it so we can paint the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and I'm going to put one coat. I didn't do anything fancy with the back of this. I'm just going to screw it right onto the doghouse. So I'm just going to seal it. I'm not worried about what the back looks like. So I'll hit the back here. I got my little critter spray gun here with some water-based sanding sealer. That thing's jacked up on pressure. I'm a little heavier than normal on that back side because it's still pretty porous. So I'll just take that and I'll flip it over. Let's see if I can hit the sides real quick. And across the top. Okay, that ought to be good. It looks like it got down in there good. So I'm going to let that dry. I'll probably put one more coat on it off camera, and then I'll come back and I'll sand it real light, and then we'll come in and spray the black ink in it. Okay, so this thing is dry with a sanding sealer. So I'm going to try and tape this off just to eliminate as much of that ink from getting on the actual board. So I got that all taped up. Oh, I lost my edge there. That'll be good enough. Okay, so now I have my my black marsh ink. So I'm going to use this, get it shook up good. And I'll probably put 2 coats. This stuff dries pretty fast, but I don't want to get it too thick where it'll try and run on there. So I'm going to go I'll go side to side, and I'll go top to bottom on it. And the big thing, you got to kind of hit it from different angles to get up against all the letters. You don't want any light spots. And I'll hit it from this side over here. Oh, sorry. I went my camera, sorry. And I'll try and hit it from this side. at the tops of those letters. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll look at it, make sure I don't have any spots that I missed. There's still the wood color underneath there. And once I feel confident with that, I'll let it dry completely, which I think maybe takes, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes. It doesn't take long to dry. Okay, so I've let this dry now, so we can go ahead and pull our tape back off. Okay, so we're ready to sand this off now. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to get a towel to sit this on. Okay, so here we are ready to sand it, and I just got a 220 sandpaper, and I'm just going to go over it real light, nice and smooth, just enough to remove all this paint off the top. Okay, I'm going to switch to a 120 on that. It needs to take a little bit more off. I think that's too fine to finish and the paper is gumming up. So we're going to try it with a 120 and see if that does a little bit better. I'm going to go back to my 220 now. That 120 did a lot better. Plus I sped the speed on my sander up a little bit, which helped some too. Okay, now for the big reveal. There it is, looks awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of hand sanding now, and then I'll come back and put a finish on it. Okay, so we're ready to put a finish on it. I'm going to put, this is an outdoor Spar Urethane, and it's a water-based, but it's used for indoor or outdoor. And I'm spraying it again with my Critter spray gun. So I'm going to flip this thing over, and I'm going to do the bottom first. Okay, and I'll very gently flip this thing over onto my painter's pyramids. And then I'm going to hit the sides first. Oops, didn't want to do that. Now we'll go across the top. That didn't go very smooth. We'll try this again. Should have put an extra pyramid under there. I think it's got a lot of pressure behind it. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, so there it is. Looks pretty nice. I'm probably going to put a couple more coats on this because this is going to be an outdoor sign. It's going to go on the doghouse. But anyway, that's pretty much the process. So I had this video, and I have the video that's going to be attached to it that shows how I designed this sign on Photoshop, how I printed it out on the freezer paper, did the transfer. So basically from design to finished board, out of 2 videos. You can watch the whole thing. I hope this was helpful to you. I appreciate you watching. Please like, please subscribe, please share my videos. Thank you.